Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, well, thank you for coming to my channel and checking my video out. And today I'm going to be talking about my Crohn's disease. This is a really big deal to me. I've dealt with it my whole life. It started when I was really young, definitely way younger than I was diagnosed, 3 or 4. My mom would bring me to go get ice cream down the road, and as soon as I maybe got like halfway through the ice cream, my mom was rushing me home so I could use the bathroom. I always remember this being very prominent. One time when I was younger, I remember that I woke up and I tried to sit up in bed, and when I couldn't get up. And I was frightened. I was so scared, and to this day, I don't know what it was. I would notice, like, throughout the years that I would have more symptoms. They always told me I had irritable bowel syndrome. So for many years, I went off that. I was constantly trying to seek doctors' help because I really wanted to know what was wrong with me. I did not feel like it was irritable bowel syndrome. I really felt like it was something more, but I really didn't know what. Years to find out the answers. In 2008, I landed into the hospital for the first time. I remember being completely frightened, going to the hospital, not knowing what's wrong with me. At that time, I had never had any surgery, so of course my worst fears were, oh my gosh, something's wrong, I don't know what, I have really bad stomach pains, I feel like I'm being stabbed in the abdomen, this is terrible. They thought that it was my appendix, but it ended up not being my appendix. It ended up being Crohn's disease, but they had done a CAT scan, thankfully, because they wanted to just go right in and do some surgery and remove my appendix. They gave me, like, I was on an IV there, and they gave me pain meds and stuff, so I was really scared because I was afraid that I was going to have surgery ultimately, and I didn't end up. I was sent home with prednisone, painkillers, and I think that was it. Move on, 2008, I had met my wife, Megan. She pretty much followed me throughout this. She started from the beginning. I've always been really appreciative of it because it was something that was always extremely scary to me. And to have her, like, always be there with me was a big deal to me, to have her support, even though she accepted it and she knew what she was going into with a relationship. It was definitely more than we both expected it to be. I'm going to skip ahead to my first appointment with my first GI. I got scheduled for a colonoscopy. It was my first one and only one so far. Yeah, it was pretty bad. That was like 6 years ago. I finally got a doctor after a lot of searching, and they scheduled me for my first colonoscopy. Because I couldn't definitely be diagnosed with Crohn's disease from the hospital appointment. I actually had to have, like, testing and stuff, a lot of blood work and CAT scans involved, and then a colonoscopy, and then sometimes an endoscopy. I have not received an endoscopy yet. I am scheduled for one soon, though. When I had my colonoscopy, they found over 50 ulcers in my small intestine, extreme inflammation. I was immediately placed on Remicade infusions. I would have to go in once every 6 to 8 weeks. At first it was every 6 weeks because they wanted to get it in my system. I had to sit there for about 4 hours at a time while I had an IV in my arm, and it was usually always this arm too. And it wasn't painful, it was more anxiety ridden. I had maybe 3 infusions and my body completely denied it. I was allergic to it. They took me off of it. I could not have it. And then the prednisone, they wanted me to start weaning off of. Well, my body wouldn't wean. Next medication that they put me on was azithromycin, and that was just a pill, which I was really excited for. I had high hopes for because I had heard good things about it. The nasty side effects of it was it lowered my immune system, and it rotted my teeth. Now, there are many things they'll say that wasn't just the medication that did it. They'll say Crohn's itself that causes teeth rot. It's the medications that you're put on. It's the bile in the back of my throat when I have GERD problems from my Crohn's disease that cause the teeth to rot. So then, therefore, I couldn't any longer, I could not take that medication, because if I got an infection, which I had a tooth infection, I'd have to, you know, get off of that completely, and I couldn't be on it because I wouldn't be able to fight off the infection. And that was really, really hard. So then, therefore, I wasn't on a medication anymore. Well, they had one other one, and it was pills, and it was like a bunch of them. I can't remember what it was called, but it didn't work. Not many people it worked for, so they were very doubtful about it. My body was addicted to prednisone. I had massive withdrawals. It took over a year and a half to get off of the prednisone. I'm a very short girl. I'm only like 5'2", and a normal weight for me would be like 118, 120. I just had body image problems, and they started to get worse, because when you gain that much weight, well, of course you get stretch marks. I got the moon face, I got the hunchback, and I never really noticed how big I was until, you know, I looked back at the pictures, and I'm like, wow, that was me. That's so embarrassing. I hated my body. I hated what Crohn's did to me. I felt embarrassed. It was nothing that I could control. With the restriction, sometimes I'd be like, oh, let me have candy, because of course I like sweets, like I said, but sometimes I would have them because that was the only thing that I could stomach. Literally, I would not be able to have anything else, but if I had a hard mint, that would help. Well, of course, all of that came down to, with all my medications, was that's why my teeth were rotting, was because I was eating candy all the time, and that's not something I said, and that followed me all the way at that hospital and that doctor's clinic, the GI that I had for both doctors. So then I wanted to get out of that practice. They would not accept me because of my call-outs. The other practice was the only practice that I had to choose from, and they denied me. I did not start receiving care again until 2016. I had a lot of things that brought me to the point where I had to get a doctor. It was really scary to not sure if what's wrong with your body and all the pains, and not knowing if you should go to the hospital or not, and being scared. Missing your old life. I used to work all the time. I used to be able to go to school, and because, you know, like, because I called out so much, I lost all these jobs. And I'm up to debt in my eyeballs. I owe over 50 grand. I could never finish school. I only have 32 credits, and I would love to be able to finish school someday, so that I could accomplish something, because I haven't been able to successfully accomplish anything except for starting this channel. I have a lot more to say about this, but this is a really long video, and it's very emotional. I definitely have updates. I am seeing a doctor now. I do have a colonoscopy set up coming in December, with an endoscopy as well. So I'll definitely have more to tell you then about things that are going on with me now. I have a lot to tell you about things that led up to when I had to see a doctor again. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for coming back to my channel and watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe below, and you'll get updates when I post a video every Sunday. Bye!